Hello, Professor Halverson and class. We're super excited to bring you our businesses today. This semester was a lot of learning. We went through ups and downs. We tried several different businesses. We were able to generate some revenue, but the most valuable thing was definitely the lessons that we learned. And so we're going to take you on a journey through our semester, showing you the highs, the lows, our business ideas, where they went well and where they failed. So started off, we'll show you snow shots.
Sounds good. Well, yeah, so talking about snow shots, this was the first business idea that we thought of. It was actually something that I validated a year ago, and we were able to find a dad that was interested in paying for having his kids and friends filmed and edited on the slopes. And so as a team, we thought, let's try to validate this again. And we thought of different key assumptions and problems that might make us want to pursue this idea. For example, when you're on the slopes and families are on vacation, they really want to be able to document and share the ski trip memories. And how do they do this? Well, they have to take video of themselves, but it is quite the hassle to pull out your phone when your hands are cold. It's a shaky video. And so how can we get smooth, good quality content for these families? And we also saw that there's no other filming services that do this in Utah. The only other one that we saw that does a really great job and is pretty legit is out in Switzerland. And we checked them out. And yeah, so other than that, we just saw that there's just photographers that do that here. And so although we found that it wasn't time to be able to do this yet, it was a little early in the season. And so that's where we kind of moved on. But those were some problems that we looked into as far as this business goes.
So we kind of outlined the different sections of this business, right? So we figured out that, our costs were really going to be simple, right? There was the cost of the videographers. These were kind of our key metrics, right? So the cost of videographers, the number of customers that we were able to get, and also like number of book days on the mountain, figuring out how many film services were we able to do. Our unique value proposition is pretty simple. We're able to connect high quality videographers with paying clients, and our unique value proposition is we would be the only ones in all of North America that would offer this solution. Again, that kind of bleeds into our unfair advantage. Where we're really going to find that is in the fact that we are going to focus a lot on developing good relationships with videographers, because that's really what it comes down to. Also, developing a really high quality advertising campaign we thought would be really smart. But as you're going to see, we encountered some hiccups right with that.
Our customer segment for this, we were going off of wealthy families, wealthy ski families that are looking to document their experience. We figured the customer segment with this would be best with those families that are looking to document this. Majority of individuals that go skiing, if they're good enough, they probably have their own videographer. So we wanted to make our focus on our wealthy families. Kind of our cost structure for this was we were planning on charging about $600 for a video service. We would be on the slope with the family for about 3 hours, kind of go up the slopes, down the slopes with them. And then we would give $400 of that to the videographer, and $200 of that would go to us as a company. However, we did have to pivot from this because it wasn't ski season. It wasn't ski and snowboarding season. So we did have to pivot to a different business idea because we were not able to really validate with those families on the mountains and get a hold of them.
And that brings us moving on to our next business idea. After racking our brains and thinking a lot about what we could potentially do, we came up with the unique idea of Farm Table Fresh.
Sounds good. So with this business, Farm Table Fresh, the problems and key assumptions that we were looking at is how can we help people find those delicious, fresh, home-cooked meals that they want and that are difficult to find sometimes through Instacart and the other delivery services. And we wanted to help those that are willing to cook for cash find another target market to be able to get this out there. And we found that sometimes it's difficult for these people that are at the farmers market to be able to sell this food on the off season, when it's really cold, and what can we do to kind of help them do this on the off season as well as when they're not at the farmers market. How can we increase the size of their market and who they're reaching out to? And we wanted to create the solution by finding delivery drivers that help to pick up this food from them, from these cooks or farmers, people at the farmers market that are selling these vendors. We find them the delivery drivers to get the food to the customer that is willing to pay for their goods.
That's exactly right. So we look at a couple things, the key metrics, right? So number one, cost of drivers and how many drivers we would have, right? Also like cost of app maintenance. We figured we need a pretty solid app eventually for this to run well. And then just about the basic cost of the business structure and just understanding, hey, are we able to keep these costs down? That was kind of our key metrics, right? The compelling and the unique value proposition that we had was the fact that we would be the ones actually with these relationships with the people at the farmers market, right? We'd find the people who were give a platform to those who actually needed the home cooked meals. We were actually making them. We'd help get people connected to local baked goods and also fresh produce. And we'd be able to market to families who really wanted it. Our main advertising platform we thought of was to just do advertising online and maybe even potentially do commercials. But we wanted to make it a really minimum viable product. So to start with, we basically just talked to people that we knew. And with that, we were actually able to find a chef, and I'll let Easton kind of talk about that.
Right. So I'll just go ahead and start with our unfair advantage. So first thing we have was our immense number of local providers. There's always a lot of farmers markets going on and a lot of startups that go on around here as well. Just a lot of people hoping to get their product out, same as us. But we were just hoping to kind of take advantage of the home cooked meal market and give it in the hands of people that were looking for that couldn't necessarily do that. One way we attempted of doing that was through our advertising and also our drivers. We attempted to form a way to give our drivers a cut as well as ourselves and the chef providing the meal. And our advertising primarily consisted of, word of mouth and social media. We would post up pictures of the meals. Hopefully those would reach our target customers, those being people that go to the gym or just people that were sick of fast food and wanted something home cooked. That brings me into customer segments. As I said, we were looking for families, looking for home cooked meals and fresh food. We felt that our service was able to formulate a simpler way for people to get in touch with a cook to prepare them a home cooked meal when they couldn't necessarily do it for themselves.
We definitely did have to pivot from those families looking for home cooked meals, and we kind of swapped it to people that were going to the gym. That was kind of what we kind of swapped that over to, was people that were going to the gym that would want a home cooked meal full of protein. Our original kind of cost structure was that there'd be $2 fee for business. We weren't sure like the providing of the food, how much it would cost for our cooks to get their food prices. That would kind of vary a little bit. And then tips for drivers and driver fees, that would also vary. However, our revenue streams, we were planning on doing $2 for the fee for the use of the app. However, we did kind of swap from this because we did just a little bit more of a basic method with this. We have a couple cooks, and then we have some people that are buying those meals. It's very simple. The cooks link up with the people that want the meals, and we're able to get those meals to them. So this did give us some revenue, and we were able to create a business from this. And then this definitely does have potential, but we also created another business as well to kind of continue and see what we could produce from that. And that kind of leads us into Dump It. Dump It is just kind of a business that is all about people that don't want their clothes anymore or don't want their things and need to get rid of it.
Sounds good. And correct, just like Haley said, a problem that we saw was we want to help people get rid of the clothes that they are willing to donate and kind of pick it up and get rid of it for them. They don't want to have to do the long drive to DI to drop that off. And so what we did is some key activities. We're going to pick up these clothes from DI, and then a market that is willing to buy these clothes is at a place called Indie Clover, where we could go and take these clothes to be resold there. So we pick up the clothes and then we resell them at Indy Clover to try to make some profits off of that.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of couple key metrics that we thought of were, number one, how many bags can we actually get, right? So that was a big deal. And then, what were we able to actually sell these clothes for? And our unique value proposition was we were willing to go out and do the work that no one was willing to do. We know there were a lot of people, I mean, just from talking to several groups of people that actually had donation bags that they just, didn't end up taking to DI, just kind of sat in the closet. And we thought hey, this would be a really, really good way for us to get these clothes, not only to DI, but also actually generate a business where, we could sell some of the higher end stuff, some of the better stuff for profit. And we were able to do that. Now, our main channels that we looked at were door to door at first. That was really ineffective just for gas. The fact that, not a lot of people were, willing to at the door. And so we figured that probably online advertising was going to be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, with the time of the semester, though, we ran out of time to see that.
Yep. And so as we're going over our Dump It service, we came to the conclusion that there wasn't really an unfair advantage in this business. Essentially, what we were trying to do was be a resale business, but taking out the middleman of the thrift store. Ourselves would just go and scoop up the clothes, sort through them ourselves, and then see what we can make off those. And then all that didn't get sold, we would donate ourselves. We also realized that maybe the barrier to entry, we just, as we said, gas was, very expensive. It was hard to go door to door, but, there was a potential future for this business. Our customer segment was essentially anyone with a donation bag that keeps forgetting to take it to DI. Like I said, we were just trying to be the middleman and save them, the customer, the time of driving all the way to DI and donating their clothes themselves. We would just go scoop it for them and sell it ourselves.
Yeah, so with this, our cost structure, we knew there'd be cost for gas for us to go and pick up the items. And then there's also a cost for our resale. We were just planning on reselling at Indy Clover, and that was a $30 setup fee for the booth there. However, our revenue stream, our plan was for each bag that we picked up, as we started to pick up more bags, we would charge $5 per bag that we pick up for the clothing. And then we'd also receive money from anything that we resell. So if we resold clothes or different other items that might have been in those bags, those are possible ways for us to make revenue from this. We were able to make some revenue from this, kind of as we talked about, the semester kind of ran out of time. So we weren't able to fully continue to grow it, but it definitely did have potential. So kind of all in all, we kind of want to talk about just like the desirability, feasibility, and viability of these businesses. So with our ski business, we weren't really able to really see the desirability, feasibility, or viability just because it wasn't ski season. There wasn't snow. We couldn't really check it out. With our Farm Table Fresh, we kind of were able to see a little bit more. We saw the desirability. People want home cooked meals. They want healthy food. The feasibility is a little bit hard. We need to find chefs, so we need to find a way to promote it so that our customers can get it. The viability was that it was just hard to find chefs, and it's hard in this small of a town. And then for Dump It, we did figure out there is a big desirability. People don't want to take their clothes to DI. Everyone has that pile of clothes that they just want to get rid of, but no one wants to take it to DI. So there definitely is a desirability for it. The viability, it is kind of hard to make money because you don't know what the quality of the items that you're going to get from those are. So that's kind of a hard thing there. And the feasibility was we just needed to make sure we could donate things and actually have a method that we really could make money and getting donations that were acceptable.
And that leads us to kind of the end. We learned really fast that pivoting is very crucial, that it's really important to figure out what your customers want and need and the problem way before the solution. In my mind, and I'm sure all of ours, that the entrepreneurship was always flipped. I was like, design a product, design a solution, and then bring it to the customer. The problem and then solution oriented, model is way more effective. And we saw that with our businesses, right? We saw that when we weren't able to test that, our business didn't grow. When we were able to test it, it actually grew and we were able to make some money from it. So we learned a lot this semester. We're grateful for the time that we had and excited to keep going, building businesses. So that's our team. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, so that was 14 minutes long. Does it have to be under 10 minutes?
I think
Does
it's
it
meant
have to be at least or under 10? I don't
I think
remember.
it just has to be at least, right?
I hope it's at least.
Yeah, same.
Because I thought that sounded pretty good for a first run.
Yeah, that was solid.
It
I can
looks
check
like
Learning
it.
Suite.
Mm,
You say it looks like it's at least.
yeah, 10 minutes.
Mm,
What it's gonna do, give us an F for going 4 minutes over? I doubt it.
What do you guys think? I've got 8 minutes on this meeting left, so we'd have to do it again later anyway. Because I know Haley, you have to go, right? Or Haley, is it Brett? I didn't say that.
No, not
I
me.
do have an appointment at 6.
So we could run it through one more time tomorrow if we want to. What do you guys think?
We could, but no, I think that was good.
If we're worried about the time, then I think we should rerun it. But if it's okay for the time that we filmed it in, I thought that was a great first run.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would work great to turn in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I'll email him. I'll ask him.
Yeah, ask
Yeah,
him and see what he
sounds
says.
good.
And if he's good with
Yeah.
it, then I think let's do it.
Yeah, I'll see what he says and I'll edit the video. So hopefully it works out. If we absolutely need to, I'll text you guys tonight and we'll just find a time. Even if it's late tomorrow night, we just do it we can hop on for literally 12 minutes,
Yeah.
Do it one more time. So
Sounds
Sweet.
good job,
good.
team.
Good
Awesome.
working with you
Good
guys.
work.
Okay, see you guys.
Yeah.
See ya.
Later.
Hey, see ya.
Good work.
Bye.